Hi guys, welcome to Java Express channel. So we started Java interview questions series playlist we created in our YouTube channel. For your information, let me open our Express channel. Guys, this is our channel group Java Express. When you click on here, we have a playlist is available here. All our interview questions, we created one playlist. Just you can go through these videos also. We completed around 2 sessions. Now today is the day 3. Okay, now third question we are going to discuss difference between constructor versus method in Java. Why we need a constructor, how it is related to the method. Okay, we'll see couple of differences and we'll create a small program. I will show you how to create a method or how to create a constructor. If you know how to create a object, then constructor topic is very easy. Okay, let me open a notepad file. Guys, we have a common Telegram group. All updates we are happening in this particular Telegram. Else in the Telegram group you can search Java Express group. You can join. You will get instant updates whenever we are uploading any video in the YouTube. Okay, now coming to the point, let me make it side heading constructor versus method in Java. Now this is the topic we are going to discuss now. Now first we need to understand what is a constructor, why we need the constructor. Now we'll see differences. All our questions will make a differences with a method also. Now first point, why we need a constructor. Basically constructor is used to initialize an object data or state. We can say constructor is used to initialize object data. What does it mean? What is the example? Let me make it as a method also here. Then I can show you the exact what this point is behaving. Now method is used to execute the functionality of an object. Here we are talking about commonly one name is equal to object, right? It is used to object statements. If you take example, if you take as a bank is an object, right? Now inside a bank, like assume that if you are a customer, if you say customer, you will have a name and you have a account number. Inside your any bank you have a name and account number. These two are the variables of your bank account. Now if you want to initialize object data, now for the name and the account, we can initialize these values in the constructor. Now how to create a constructor means, okay, here this is the example. Bank, assume that object 1 equal to new bank object. Here if you see, again we have a different types of a constructor is there. Now if you see here, the new bank, this is a constructor. Whenever you are initializing, you can initialize the object data inside this particular constructor. This is nothing but a constructor, new bank. But whereas the method, example, if you take a bank, in the bank we have a different types of functionalities. What are the functionalities available? If you go to the bank means, you can let me notepad. Yeah, here what are the functionalities? As a customer you can deposit, okay, you can withdraw, just you can withdraw the money. Okay, now you want to take a loan. Okay, these are all different types of functionalities. So methods are used to execute the functionality of an object, but a constructor is initialize a object data where you can initialize the name and account. These kind of attributes you can initialize inside the constructor. Okay, in the later session I will be discuss different types of constructor. In this session, try to understand differences between the constructor versus method. Okay, this is the first point. Now second point, now the name of the constructor, I can say the name of the constructor must be same as the class name. same as the name of the class. What exactly mean? Okay, your constructor name should be same as class name. Now you know very well how to create a class. Okay, now class, now this is your bank object, right? Now this is your bank object. Now inside the bank, whenever you are defining the constructor, class name, whatever you are using, constructor name also should be same. Now how to define a constructor? Bank here, how it's like a how you can define a method, same way you can define, but the difference is class name and constructor name should be same. This is the second point related to this one. Okay, now but whereas the methods, you can use any name, there is no restrictions. Okay, methods can have any name in Java program. Like example, you can create a method names like a void deposit. This is about your method name. Now in the same way, void withdraw, you can take as another method. These are all your method names. So these names you can keep it any name you can use, but whereas in the constructor, class name and constructor name should be same. Very important whenever you are defining the constructor. Top interview question: what are the rules you need to follow while defining a constructor? The first rule is, this is the one, constructor name and class name should be the same. This is about the second difference. And third difference, okay, I can say constructor does not have return type. Does not have return type. You should not use I want to return integer, I want to return the double. If you want to use, this is a invalid. Assume that if you return like this, okay, this is a invalid, then it will be treated as a method. So that's why constructor does not have a return type. But whereas methods, another point is methods can have, okay, may or may not return a value. Okay, now here in this use case, you are returning nothing. Void represents you are not returning anything. But if you want to return, okay, after deposit, if you want account balance, now you can type like this. Now I can type it as a int. I can get my balance amount. Okay, whatever the data type you want, you can. This is called a return type. This is the third difference. Okay, and fourth, another one difference: constructors are invoked implicitly. That means you no need to run your constructor manually. Okay, program will take care, compiler will take care about constructors are invoked implicitly. But whereas in case of the methods, you need to call explicitly. This is the difference, guys. Methods are invoked explicitly. That means you need to call this particular methods from the main method. But whereas whenever you are creating the object, okay, these constructors are invoked implicitly. So these are the differences between the constructor versus method. Now I will be showing you a small program. Then let me open the Eclipse. In your system, if you have a Eclipse, you can use else. In the day one session, I can say when I discussed at the first question, how to create a Java program, how to compile and how to execute. That approach also you can follow. It is very simple to develop your Java programs if you use Eclipse IDE. Okay, in the market we have a lot of IDEs like Eclipse, Spring Tool Suite, IntelliJ, NetBeans. We have a different types of IDEs. We have any IDE is fine. Okay, now here let me create a class. Now by default, whenever you are creating a class, it is available taking as a default package. But you want to create as a separate package means, now here you can make it, here you can create your own package. Under src folder, right click, here there is a package. Here what I am taking, all package names are start with the com dot, now basics dot, I can say constructors. Just I am taking one package and finish. Now it will be create as a separate package for you. That means internally it is creating 3 folders: COM folder, basics folder, and constructors folder. Now let me create a class here. Create a class. Now here you can create as a bank object. Here you need a main method, public static void main. Just enable and finish. Now your bank object is ready. Your bank object is ready. Now this is about your bank. Now here I'm defining 2 class level variables. I'm defining class level variables. I'm declaring is nothing but non-static variables. Okay, now have a look here. Now let me take as a int id. I'm taking as id and string name. 2 attributes I taken, id and name. If you want to initialize id and name, you can initialize via constructor. How to create a constructor means, if you know how to create a object, constructor is very easy. Now here you can create a bank object, bank ob. You can take as a HDFC equals to new bank. I'm created one object here. Here new bank, this is nothing but a constructor is nothing but a default constructor. Now how to define a constructor? Class name and constructor name should be same. Bank, just open bracket, close. This is a constructor. Okay, now it does not have any return type. If you want to initialize here you can define some static variables. I'm defining here static variables. I define. Now here id equals to 20. Okay, name equals to, now you can provide as a Java Express, or you can take any name. Let me take as a Ramesh. Whenever you are creating the bank object, this bank constructor will be invoked automatically. How to prove that? See here, system.out.println. Now I am printing the id plus, and here I am using name. Just I am printing the both. See here. Now just I am running this application. Run as Java application. See here, id and Ramesh. That means whenever you are calling the constructor, you can initialize the object data. Okay, these are all kind of static variables. Even you can initialize non-static variables also. That later on time I will be discussed. This is nothing but a constructor. Okay, we can call as a default constructor. Okay, now how to create a method? Okay, methods can have a return type. Right now I don't have a return type. Void deposit. Now this is kind of a non-static method. Here let me write system.out.println deposit method is called. That's it, done. Now let me go to points here. Here we already defined here. See here, method can have any name. Here in this use case, deposit method. Now what is another point? Method can have may or may not return a value. Here you can use a int data type, long data type, any data type you can use. Methods are invoked explicitly. You need to call from the main method. How to call? You created as a reference HDFC. Now HDFC dot, you can call the deposit method. That's it. This is the difference between class versus, difference between constructor and method. Hope you enjoyed the session, and we'll explain a difference between a default constructor and parameterized constructor in the next session. Thank you guys.